Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jacob and Jackson. Our last video, we talked about what Jackson meant by I wasn't there for him enough. So we're going to get into that a little bit. I think Jackson's got a couple questions for me, but one thing I want to say first is, since we've started talking about this, and he's really got me thinking about what he meant by that, by I wasn't there for him enough. I want to tell you, Jack, that you were there for me a lot more than I was you, bud. And I don't know where I'd be without you through this. Love you, man.
Me too, Dad.
So the first thing I kind of wanted to bring up before Jackson asked me the questions he wanted to ask me is I'll just let him ask and we'll go from there.
Well, first, why did you stop watching football?
Um,
Like today's a Super Bowl and 49ers. You've always
Speak up
been
a
their
little
fan.
because you can't really hear you sometimes. So you got a big mouth.
You've
Dude.
always
Let's hear
been
it.
their fan, and now you haven't watched it.
I've watched the 49ers. Like the very first football game I ever seen was the 49ers. And my life used to really revolve around football a lot. Like it was always like a huge part of my life. Like the Super Bowl was bigger than Christmas at my house, you know. So
Yeah.
when your mom and I first split up, so the football at our house used to be like her and I would go. It was always such a good time because we would go. We would get a bunch of junk food. You know, we'd get up in the morning and we'd cook, and she was always so happy, and it was just always like a super good day, you know. And then game time would come around, and
Everybody would be there.
everybody would be over, and it would just your mom is like watching her watch football. She gets so excited and so passionate about it, and it was just fun to watch her. So the game would come on, and I would find myself watching her more than I would the game, you know, and it was so much fun watching her that think about it like this, dude. Think about your favorite love song, you know. Think about something that really gets to you, you know, really brings a good memory to you. And now think about what that would look like. Think about what it would look like, you know. Watching your mom watch football, that's what I see. And it's one of those things that hurts a lot still. So I'm going to try to watch the Super Bowl tonight. We'll see how it goes. It's just one of those things I've never wanted to do. I hate football now. So what else you got?
Well, second thing is, I don't remember this that much, but we were golfing, and like, was it my birthday?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
We were golfing, and
Speak
I
up.
was like I wanted to go to mom's because I wanted to play pool, and you just started yelling at me kind of and got mad.
Yeah, I remember. You know that's one of those days that's kind of always haunted me, and especially the more I've thought about what you meant by when you said in your video about, and that's what I wanted to talk about. One thing I wanted to talk about when you said that you felt like some of this might have been your fault, you know, and I wonder if days like that, where I said, you know, because when you said you want to go to your mom's because you wanted to go play pool with her, I knew you guys were going to go to some place where she was seeing some guy there. You know, she liked to see this guy that was there, and they'd hang out. So of course, you guys wanting to go there really upset me anyway. I didn't want your mom doing something like that. But I would also kind of try to use you to manipulate what she was doing, you know, which was pretty wrong of me because and when I got mad at you that day, I know what you're talking about. I yelled at you like, what do you want to go play pool for? What? Because I didn't want your mom in that place, you know, and I thought I could use you to not get her in there.
Okay, that's horrible.
Yeah, that is a horrible thing to do. You know, I've learned a lot through this. So, all right, what else you got?
There was a day, and you said that you never wanted to see me and my sisters again.
Buddy, I don't know if everybody can hear you, but well, Jackson, I know exactly the time he's talking about here too. I was sitting in my garage, and I was on the phone with his mom and
Jesus.
his sisters. I was on speakerphone, and they were getting ready to go somewhere, and I was not invited, and like that really hurt, right? I mean, my family's going somewhere, and I'm not invited for one of the first times ever, and it was pretty painful. And when she kept saying, "I'm not picking you up," I like yelled into the phone, and I was sitting about like I'm sitting right now, and I yelled into the phone, "Well, fine, then I don't ever want to see you or the kids again." And I remember, like, as soon as I said it, like the phone fell out of my hand, and I don't know if you guys hung up or not or what happened. And I just stood up and I hit my door. You know my cabinet I have in my
That's
garage?
why it's broke?
Yeah, the whole top of it. I busted it. And I remember that day really well, and I remember thinking later, because I actually picked my phone up and snapped it in half that day. That was one of the many times I broke my phone through this. But I remember thinking, like, how arrogant I was before all this started. Judging people, you know, the things they said when they were going through stuff like this, or the things they, you know, the way they acted. How can a man act like that? How can a man say that to his kids? And I remember as soon as I dropped that phone thinking, what an asshole I was for judging people going through something like this. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what they were going through. And then here I am saying this same thing. I would have been like, what a piece of shit, say that to his kids. You know? And of course, you know I didn't mean that, right? Like,
Well, at the time I thought you meant it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was only like 7.
And it was one of those things too, you know, I didn't throw that dagger at you guys. That was aimed for your mom, you know, to make her feel guilty, you know, somehow of course I didn't mean anything like that. It was just one of those things to say, almost like manipulation again, you know, just to make her feel guilty. And I think a lot of people do that, where they try to guilt the other person into doing something, you know, that's never going to last. And I think that's kind of what I was doing that day. But, you know, that's one of those things that's really taught me a lot about judging people and what they're going through, you know. Because here I was doing the same thing I was judging people for. And it really opened my eyes to a lot of that kind of stuff. You got anything else?
Yeah, in your last video, you said that you wouldn't trade the last 4 years for the first 35 years of your life. And I didn't understand that.
I wouldn't. Like, the first 35 years of my life are really good.
Well, stop. Jesus, let me yawn.
But, you know, the last 4 years, the one thing it showed me more than anything is who's on my side. Like you, dude, you were there for me in times you shouldn't even have been there for me, you know. And a lot of people walked away from me in this, you know. So that's one thing that showed me who my true friends are, and who the people that truly love me are, you know. Mm-hmm. And then another thing, like I said about the judging people, it really, if I had to sum all this up in one word, it would be it humbles you. Like it's very humbling, because you realize the times you are judging people, you don't know what they're dealing with. And another thing the last 4 years has taught me, it's kind of how strong I am, you know, and what I can deal with and what I can get through, and that's going to help me the rest of my life. Be the man I want to be the dad I want to be, you know. So. We'll get into more details of some of that, you know, if you want to later. But I also got a couple of questions for you, you know, like, do you feel like I'm easier to talk to than I was 4 years ago? Like, do you feel like you can still come to me with a lot of stuff?
Some things.
Yeah. Now, Jackson, I want you to know, like, when we're rolling this video, you can say whatever you want to, you know, like, I don't want you cussing and being a jerk, but I don't want you to feel like you're holding back anything. If there's something you want to say, I want you to say it to me. So, what do you mean some things?
Well, like some things I can't come to you because if I do, you'll just yell. You've been like that your entire life.
Yeah, I do yell. Like I don't mean to. That's the funny thing about intentions, right? They're bullshit, because what you reflect out is what people see. not what you're thinking inside. So I don't ever yell. I don't yell like to get on you sometimes as much as, I just get excited. And I'll try to keep an eye on that. I'll try to watch that. Jackson's not the first person to tell me that. Like Jake, you're not that approachable. You get too excited and you get pissed off and you start yelling, or so somebody need to work on for sure. That's a weakness that you don't always see in yourself sometimes because you have better intentions than what's really happening. So, so start pointing that out to me. Hey, you're yelling at me again.
Well, because then you yell at me more.
I'm working on it, dude. But yeah, be patient with me on that one because that is something I see in myself because you're not the only one that points it out to me. So, one thing I want you to do is start saying better things. Like start not saying things that every day you talk about. I hate school. Tell me about school last week. What was school like? You spent 4 days with your mom. Like you went. Tell me about like you say you hate school every day.
It's just dreadful and stressful, and I hate it.
I want you to do me a favor, okay? You can hate school in here, but I want you to do me a favor. And I'm going to work on this yelling thing with you so I can be a little more approachable for you. But I want you to do me a favor and not say, I hate school out loud for the rest of the school year. And if you do, by mistake, just correct yourself and see if school don't get better by the end of the year. Once you say enough, dude, you're just going to keep believing it. So I think if you just quit talking negative about school, I think you might find something in school that you'll like. That might make life a little easier. You have to go to school, right?
I don't have to.
Well, you do. You have to. I'm going to make you. Your mom's going to make you. You have to go to school. Just part of life. I have to go to work. That's just the way it is. So I want you to try to have the most positive attitude about school. And the way that starts is not saying negative things every chance you get. Keep them to yourself, okay? Just for the rest of the year. Now, if there's something about school you're stressed out about or something, I want you to come talk to me. But I don't want to hear just negative. You know what I mean? And I'm going to start asking you every day. I want something positive about school. So every day, think about it in school because I'm going to text you every day, and I want to hear, or when I pick you up, and I want to hear something positive about school. Okay? And I'll work on the not getting so excited when I'm trying to talk to you. Okay? All right, dude. Love you.
Love you too. Why you gotta be like that? I'm just trying to yell.
We'll go over this one and we'll see what's next for us, and we'll come up with something else.